Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now and new to my channel, I'm Aspie and I welcome you with open arms. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness as well as sharing my life stories with asperger's syndrome, OCD and the like, along with tips and tricks along the way on how you can manage and treat your everyday symptoms of your mental health or just any personal health requirements of the thing. Just to bear in mind, some of the tips and tricks I may give out to you, though it works for me and may not work for you, and vice versa. Some of the tips and tricks you may have found by doing your homework or however you went about it may work for you but not for me. It's about a give and take and respecting each other's differences, as well as also a disclaimer out there basically just to say that I'm no medical doctor. I'm just your normal everyday Joe blogs. I'm just sharing my life stories of basically my conditions, of what I go through and the treatments. So if you see any warning signs and symptoms in regards to these topics I'm sharing, regardless what they are, do seek professional help within yourself or for your loved one, as well as basically seeking professional second opinion, so that I don't forever condone self-harm. So it has been brought to my attention, obviously, I'm trying to finish up some of the broader topics of mental health versus the general health, especially, even though we know it's going to be quite a big range. Before I'd go into the nitty-gritty stuff that people may moan and groan at me, but I feel to address them soon, of the ones that I want to clearly share, as well as hopefully some more on my Beauty from Ashes channel and some of the other playlistings that need some more, hopefully, lowdown. So basically, as you're aware, if you've been following me, I'm doing all about the chronic illnesses. So basically the last one I did was all about, stroke, what you need to know. This one's going to be called all about heart attacks, basically what you need to know. Hopefully most of it you have learnt something online. Give me the like for thumbs up, basically to just indicate that you have been engaging with some of these and you're liking them, or comment below, either or. And feel free also to share these videos around. Also, just to bear in mind also, hopefully what I'm hoping to conquer with this is just to break them into two parts, as always, or certain parts, so it's easier step by step to follow through when you're wanting relevant information in regards to whatever it may be. So basically this one, as I said, is all about heart attacks. So let's begin this and hopefully you're going to enjoy this. So as we know, as a given, basically, as always, many people will question different questions in amongst their mindset or thinking it out loud, What is a heart attack? Obviously, as we know, the heart is a muscle, needs oxygen to survive. A heart attack occurs when the blood flow that brings oxygen to the heart muscle is severely reduced or cut off completely, basically. And I'm going to just pre-warn you now that some of the images I'm going to show you will be in this video as well as the next one over to gain a better understanding. This happens because the coronary arteries that supply the heart muscle with blood flow can slowly become narrowed from a buildup of fat, cholesterol and other substances that together are called plaques. This slow process is known as atherosclerosis. When plaque in an artery, heart artery breaks, a blood clot forms around this plaque. This blood clot then blocks the blood flow through the heart muscle. When the heart muscle is starved for oxygen and nutrients, it is called ischemia. When damage or death from the part of the heart muscle occurs as a result of ischemia, it is called a heart attack or myocardial infarction, or MIA. Many people may, have differentiations on different definitions on these topics I'm sharing, but this is what I've learned and researched for myself, and hopefully you'll gain a better understanding through it all. Okay, next question over is people will ask, is a chest pain a heart attack? Straight out answer is no. Why is this? One of the very common type of chest pain is called angina, or angina pectoris. If you want to know more about this, let me know in the comments also about this, and I'll bring out more about angina and some of the other heart related problems that is, available for you to get it ready. It's a recurring discomfort that usually lasts only a few minutes. Angina occurs when your heart muscle doesn't get the blood supply and oxygen that it needs. The difference between angina and a heart attack is that angina attacks don't permanently damage the heart muscle. Often anginas occurs during exercise or emotional stress when your heart rate and blood pressure has increased and your heart muscle needs more oxygen to pump blood around the body. So here are some medical terms for heart attacks to give a better understanding for you all. So the first one obviously is acute coronary syndrome, or ACS. This is an umbrella term for a situation where the blood supply to the heart muscle is suddenly blocked. STMI, common name for ST evaluation myocardial infarction. This is a type of heart attack caused by a complete blockage in a coronary artery. NS TMI is a shorthand medical term for non-ST segment evaluation myocardial infarction. It is one type of myocardial infarction, also called a heart attack. It may be defined as a development of heart muscle necrosis, a form of self-death, without the ECG electrocardiography change of ST segment evaluation, resulting from an acute interruption of blood supply to a part of the heart, and can be demonstrated by an evaluation of cardiac markers or CKMB or troponin in the blood. ST segment. This is a segment is a portion of ECG. Its evaluation indicates the full thickness injury of the heart muscle. Absence of ST segment evaluation in STMI is understood to involve less than the full thickness, partial thickness damage to a heart muscle. Therefore, NSTMI is less severe type of a heart attack compared to STEMI, the ST segment evaluation myocardial infarction, in which full thickness damage of heart muscle develops a non-ST elevated infarction, a type of heart attack in which an artery is partially blocked and severely reduced blood flow. Okay, the risk factors to know about that obviously will increase the risk of developing NSTMI. To look out for some of these are majors and some of these are minors, so bear with me on this. So under the list of major factors, risk factors, you've got your high serum cholesterol level, hypertension, diabetes mellitus or diabetes for short, and cigarette smoking. Your minor risk factors for this will be your increasing age, male gender, family history, physical inactivity, obesity, excess alcohol consumption, excess carbohydrates intake, social deprivation, competitive and stressful lifestyle with type A personality, diets deficient in your body such as your fresh fruits, vegetables, and polyunsaturated fatty fats. Myocardial infarction is obviously another medical term to look out for, the damaging or death of an area of the heart muscle myocardium resulting from a blocked blood supply to that area, which is another form of a word of heart attack. Symptoms to look out for myocardial infarction. The most common symptoms of the heart attack will include the following: pressure or tightness in the chest, pain in the chest, back, jaw, and other areas of the upper body that lasts more than a few minutes or that goes away and comes back naturally, shortness of breath, sweating, nausea, vomiting, anxiety, a cough, dizziness, a fast heart rate. It's important to note that not all people who have heart attacks will experience the same symptoms like any other medical health symptoms of whatever it may be, or may have the same severity of these symptoms. Chest pain is the most commonly reported symptom among both men and women. However, women are more likely than men to have for their symptoms are shortness of breath, jaw pain, upper back pain, lightheadedness, nausea, vomiting. In fact, some women may report, or who have had a heart attack, reports their symptoms felt like symptoms of the flu. Another medical term to look into is coronary thrombosis, which is a formation of the clots in one of the arteries that conduct blood to the heart muscle, which is also called basically coronary occlusion. Coronary occlusion is an obstruction basically of a coronary artery that hinders blood flow to some part of the heart muscle that is a cause of a heart attack. Okay, now you've learned about heart attacks basically, but maybe you happen to hear a medical profession use the term acute coronary syndrome or ACS and wonder what that meant. ACS is an umbrella term for the situations where the blood supply to the heart muscle is suddenly blocked. Heart attack is to ACS what Red Delicious is to Apple, just to give you a clear understanding. Okay, so I want to bring out what it is. Okay, so you may not have heard of it, as I said. But what about heart attack or unstable angina? These are the well-known conditions are both acute coronary syndromes, an umbrella term for situations where the blood supply to the heart muscle is suddenly blocked. Obviously, basically the blockage can be sudden and complete, or it can come and go, clot, break open, then clot again. In either case, the heart tissue is dying, even if it's just a few cells or a whole big section of the heart. Doctors use this term broadly, regularly, but usually only among themselves in the medical literature. The symptoms to look out for this acute coronary syndrome or ACS is as follows. Chest pain or discomfort may immediately signal to you that something's wrong with your heart. Other symptoms, however, may leave you unsure what's wrong. So take note of these common signs or symptoms of this ACS. I'm going to break it down to you. Chest pain or discomfort, which may involve pressure, tightness or fullness. Pain or discomfort in one or both arms, the jaw, neck. back or stomach, shortness of breath, you're gasping, feeling dizzy or lightheaded, nausea, sweating. These symptoms should be taken seriously. If you experience chest pain or any other symptoms that I've shared with you all, call 111 immediately. People are in denial and they're sitting there thinking, this can't really be happening to me. Basically, not to be an alarmist. Chest pain caused by ACS can come on suddenly, as is the case with a heart attack. Other times the pain can be unpredictable or get worse even with rest, both hallmark symptoms of unstable angina. People who experience chronic chest pain resulting from years of cholesterol buildup in their arteries can develop an ACS if a blood clot forms on top of the plaque buildup. How is this diagnosed or treated is the question you'll be wondering. To determine what's causing these symptoms, a doctor will take a careful medical history and a physical examination. If the doctor suspects an ACS, the following tests will be performed. A blood test that can show evidence the heart cells are dying. An electrocardiogram or ECG can diagnose an acute coronary syndrome by measuring the heart's electrical activity. If test confirms and the blood flow to the heart has been blocked, doctors will work quickly to reopen the artery. Minute by minute, the heart is accumulating irreversible damage, so time is myocardium. Myocardium being the heart muscle itself. So the treatment for ACS includes medications and a procedure known as angioplasty, during which doctors inflate a small balloon to open the artery, which obviously I'm going to have hopefully a diagram to show briefly what it looks like. But as you can see, maybe in that diagram, it shows a stent, a wire mesh tube may be permanently placed in the artery to keep it open. For hospitals not equipped to do angioplasty quickly, drugs may be used to dissolve blood clots, but more hospitals are making the procedure available in a timely manner. So the next question you may be wondering while you're at this rate of it, are you at risk with ACS? Just like heart failure and stroke are much more likely in people who have certain risk factors, which will include smoking, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, diabetes, physical inactivity, being overweight or obese, family history of chest pain, heart disease or stroke. Your primary care doctor can help you understand your personal risks and what you can do about it. Heart attack or sudden cardiac arrest, how are they different? People often use these terms interchangeably, but they are not synonyms. A heart attack is when blood flow to the heart is blocked, and sudden cardiac is when the heart malfunctions and suddenly stops beating unexpectedly. A heart attack is a circulation problem, and sudden cardiac arrest is an electrical problem of the heart. Okay, the difference between them both of a heart attack and cardiac arrest is obviously, or what it is a heart attack especially occurs when a blocked artery prevents oxygen-rich blood from reaching a section of the heart. If the blocked artery is not responding quickly to the part of the heart normally nourished by the artery, obviously it will begin to die. The longer a person goes without treatment, the greater the damage. Symptoms of a heart attack may be immediate and intense. More often those symptoms start slowly and persist for hours, days or weeks before a heart attack, which usually it's silent and deadly. Like with a sudden cardiac arrest, the heart usually doesn't stop beating during a heart attack. The heart attack symptoms in women can be different than men, as mentioned earlier, but I'll be bringing more into this. So what is cardiac arrest? Sudden cardiac arrest occurs suddenly and often without warning. It is triggered by an electrical malfunction in the heart that causes an irregular heartbeat, which is your arrhythmia. With its pumping action disrupted, the heart cannot pump blood to the brain, lungs and other organs. Seconds later, a person loses consciousness and has no pulse. Death occurs within minutes if the victim doesn't receive treatment. Cardiac arrest versus heart attack, obviously I'll have a picture of that hopefully just to illustrate. What is the link? These two different distinct heart conditions are linked. Sudden cardiac arrest can occur after heart attack or during recovery. Heart attacks increase the risk for sudden cardiac arrest. Most heart attacks do not lead to sudden cardiac arrest, but when sudden cardiac arrest occurs, heart attack is a common cause. Other conditions may also disrupt the heart's rhythm and lead to sudden cardiac arrest. These include a thickened heart muscle, which is your cardiomyopathy, heart failure, arrhythmias, particularly ventricular fibrillation, and long QT syndrome. Fast action can save lives. So what to do when someone is having a heart attack? Obviously, even if you're not sure it's a heart attack, call 111 or your emergency response team. Every minute matters. It's best to call your EMS to get to the emergency straight away. Emergency medical services staff can begin treatment when they arrive up to an hour sooner if someone gets to the hospital by car. EMS staff also trained to revive someone whose heart has stopped. Patients with chest pain who arrive by ambulance usually receive first treatment at the hospital too. And another one you may be thinking is what to do with a sudden Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest is reversible in most victims if it's treated within a few minutes. Again, first call 111 for emergency medical services, then get an automated external defibrillator if one is available and ready to use as soon as it arrives. Begin CPR immediately and continue until your professional comes. If two people are available to help, one can begin CPR immediately while the other one calls 111. Warning signs of a heart attack. There are signs to look out for. Don't wait to get the help. If you experience any of the heart attack warning signs as illustrated above, although some heart attacks, as I said, are sudden and intense, most start slowly with mild pain or discomfort. Always pay attention to your body and call 111 if you feel chest discomfort. Most heart attacks involve discomfort in the center of the chest that lasts more than a few minutes and goes away and comes back. Careful, like an uncomfortable pressure, squeezing, fullness of pain. Discomfort in other areas of the upper body. Symptoms can include pain or discomfort in one or both arms, the back, neck, jaw, or stomach. Shortness of breath with or without chest discomfort. Other signs may include breaking out in a cold sweat, nausea, or lightheadedness. Okay, symptoms, as I said, will vary between men and women, obviously, with the heart attacks. So I want to illustrate this right now. As with men, women's most common heart attack symptoms, as I mentioned, is chest pain or discomfort, but women are somewhat more likely than men to experience some of the other common symptoms that's previously mentioned, particularly shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, and back or low joint pain. Get to the hospital straight away. Basically, even if the signs are subtle, the consequences can be deadly, especially if the victim doesn't get the help straight away. Okay? And many women think the signs of a heart attack aren't unmistakable. The image of the elephant comes to mind, but in fact they can be subtle and sometimes confusing. Some women experiencing a heart attack basically may describe upper back pressure that feels like squeezing or a rope being tied basically behind them or around them. Goldberg said, dizziness, lightheadedness, or actually fainting are other symptoms to look for. Taking care of yourselves. Okay, here are some tips from Goldberg, basically. And as we know, heart disease can be preventable. So, the tips are: schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider to learn the personal risk for your heart disease or heart attack. Learn more about your heart. You can also learn your risk with the heart attack risk calculator that is on the site. I'll find that and actually maybe link it in the description. Quit smoking. Did you know that just 1 year after you quit, you'll cut the risk of coronary heart disease by 50%? Start an exercise program. Just walking 30 minutes a day or less can lower your risk for heart attacks and strokes. Modify your family's diets if needed. Check out those healthy cooking tips. You'll learn smart substitutions, health snacking ideas, and better prep methods. For example, with poultry, you can use leaner light meats such as chicken breast instead of the fattier dark meats like your legs and thighs. Be sure to always remove the skin. Well, this quickly ends basically the first part of all about heart attacks. Give me a like for thumbs up for support. Comment below if I missed out anything, or just feel free to comment below. Feel free to share these videos around. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you know what I'm up to. So thanks for your support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.